Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Knowledge, Attitude, Practices, Academic Session Series 3. This is the third session on Young Anesthesiologists, the YUVA Stars. Today's theme is Young Anesthesiologists, the Leaders. I would now like to welcome Dr. Kamna Kakkar, who is the coordinator for today's program. Welcome, Dr. Kamna. Dr. Kamna Kakkar is currently working as a senior resident in the Department of VMMC Safdarjung Hospital, New Delhi. Her major achievements include MD and Fellowship in Critical Care, IDCCM from PGIMS Rohtak, Certificate Course in Essentials of Palliative Care, CCPC AIMS New Delhi. She is the coordinator for first and second National YUVA ISACon. She is an opinion writer with the print readership, which has reached up to more than 1 lakh people. She's also a health and awareness. She also works on health and awareness related videos, the viewership of which has gone up to 8 lakhs per video. She has raised $1 million in collaboration with Netflix and Give India Foundation COVID relief. She has 19 national and international publications under her belt. Her areas of interest are anesthesia, critical care, palliative medicine, content creation, organizing, and hosting academic events. Welcome, Dr. Kamna.
Thank you, Dr. Neha, for the warm welcome. And good evening to one and all. I am Dr. Kamna, Senior Resident in Anesthesia at Safdarjung Hospital, New Delhi. I welcome you all to the latest panel discussion on CAP in Anesthesia, which is, as Dr. Neha mentioned, an acronym for Knowledge, Aptitude, and Practices in our field of anesthesiology. CAP is the brainchild of our very own past General Secretary of ISA National, Dr. Naveen Malhotra, sir, who is here with us to moderate today's session. Dr. Naveen, is the slide visible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Dr. Naveen Malhotra, sir, is Senior Professor and Head in the Department of Cardiac Anesthesiology and Pain Management Center at PGIMS Rohtak. Our ISCNs relate to him as our own General Secretary of ISA National from 2018 to 2022. Sir's area of interest are chronic pain management and cardiac anesthesia. I request sir to say a few words.
Thank you, Kamna, for those lovely words, and welcome to today's CAP Academic Series, Session 3. This is the third session, and today is a very, very important one because we have got amongst us the leaders from different associations across the country, the YUVA Leaders. And we have invited them to share their experiences, how they have gone through as an association. And before them, I invite them. I like to share a few thoughts with them. For me, I feel that leadership in any association is an opportunity to serve. It is not about leading, but it is about serving. It is the capacity to translate the vision into reality, and you have to lead from the front. As Shri Sadhguruji has rightly said, that the 3 essential qualities of leadership are integrity, insight, and inclusiveness. Leaders instill in their people a hope for success and a belief in themselves. Leaders instill in their people a hope for success and a belief in themselves, whereas positive leaders empower people to accomplish their goals. It is an opportunity to build relationship between members and association. All the members should feel that this is our own association. So, leadership is not about titles, positions, or work hours. It's about building relationships. You have to work together as a team. As has been rightly said, coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. And there should be something for everyone in the association, because a successful person finds the right place for himself, but a successful leader finds the right place for others. So we have to find the right place for all our members, all the office bearers of the association, and the general members. And for that, we have to think big. Think really big, because dreams is not what you see in sleep. Dreams are what which don't let you sleep. And the true leader keeps on working hard in silence and let the success make noise. He or she is the custodian of the association. He or she is the heart and soul of any association. You have to take new initiatives. You have to dream big, stay positive, work very, very hard, and enjoy the journey. Because a dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. And hard work never brings fatigue. It brings satisfaction. It has been rightly said, डरते तो वो हैं जो अपनी छवि के लिए मरते हैं. डरते तो वो हैं जो अपनी छवि के लिए मरते हैं. हम तो वो हैं जो एनेस्थीजियोलॉजिस्ट की छवि के लिए मरते हैं, इसलिए हम किसी से नहीं डरते हैं. Keep on believing in yourself. Have lots and lots of self-belief, and hard work will earn you success. Become a watershed moment in the history of any association. The events before you and after you. And most importantly, leaders don't create followers. Leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. And it is very, very important to choose your successor wisely, as there is no success without a successor. And with compliments, there comes more responsibility. So maintain your integrity at all levels. That gives you real freedom, because you have got nothing to fear, as you have got nothing to hide. But first, we are doctors, then office bearers. So please do not allow your clinical, academic, research, and teaching work to suffer. Always, always keep the family informed about your work. Take permission from your better half, your parents, and let them be the part of your journey, and let them also cherish your success. I personally believe family is not an important thing. No, family is absolutely not an important thing, but it is really everything. And give your mind detoxification also. Have a Sunday off on WhatsApp. Have a Sunday off on Insta. Or do some gardening, exercise, music, cooking, sleep, and detoxify yourself, to galvanize yourself, to recharge yourself. Finally, I conclude by saying that there are 3 mantras to success. Honesty. It is still the best policy. Sincerity. The secret of success lies in sincerity. And hard work. If you want to shine like a sun, you have to first burn like a sun. And for the team, to succeed in your mission, you must have a single-minded devotion to your goal. Like our CAP Academic Series team, it has got single-minded devotion that we have to ensure the success of CAP webinars and series and sessions. Same is true with all our panelists today, who are the young association leaders with a single-minded devotion to your goal to serve the association. As excellence is a continuous process and not an accident. So I conclude by saying that leadership in association is an opportunity to serve. Because success isn't just about what you accomplish in your life. Success isn't just about what you accomplish in your life. It's always about what you inspire others to do. You have to inspire others to be successful, to be the leaders, and not your followers. सामने हो मंजिल तो रास्ता न मोड़ना. सामने हो मंजिल तो रास्ता न मोड़ना. जो मन में हो ख्वाब उसे मत तोड़ना. हर कदम पे मिलेगी कामयाबी तुम्हें. हर कदम पे मिलेगी कामयाबी तुम्हें. एनेस्थीजियोलॉजिस्ट बस सितारों को छूने के लिए कभी जमीन को ना छोड़ना, कभी जमीन को ना छोड़ना. थैंक यू वेरी मच. Over to you, Kamna.
Wonderful words of wisdom, sir. It's really amazing the way you speak, the way you motivate us. It's always a pleasure watching you talk, sir. And as we all know, the theme of today's session is YUVA Anesthesiologists as the Leaders. And we have here with us today young, spirited anesthesiology residents and specialists from all over India. Dr. Namrata, Dr. Aviral, Dr. Kul Saurabh, Dr. Amit, Dr. Akshay, and Dr. Vinay, who have held posts in not only regional but also national resident doctor associations popularly known as RDAs. They have united young resident doctors from all over India, fearlessly led them into protests, fought for what is right and against what is wrong. They ultimately have proven to us their mettle as the leaders, as the future leaders of healthcare. The 6 YUVA stars today will talk about their challenges as young leaders and how they cope through these challenges and will inspire us with their life experiences. I will introduce them one by one. Dr. Namrata. Dr. Namrata is DNB Critical Care resident and at Bangalore Medical College and Research Institute. Her major achievements have been 2 Best Paper Awards at state level and national level ISCON. She has also won Trainee Talent Award. She has been the past president of KARD, that is Karnataka Association of Resident Doctors, and has won the IMA National President COVID Warrior Award. Her areas of interest are critical care. Welcome, Dr. Namrata.
Thank you, Kamna, ma'am. It was indeed a very my pleasure to be here.
Our next guest is Dr. Aviral Mathur. He is senior resident at Maulana Azad Medical College and Lok Nayak Hospital, New Delhi. Dr. Aviral is the national president at FODA. He is the president of Resident Doctors Association at MAMC and Lok Nayak Hospital. Sir, Dr. Aviral has won WHO Award for Excellence in Healthcare Activism. He has also won COVID Warrior Award by Government of Delhi. Delhi Medical Association has awarded him with Distinguished Service by a Young Doctor Award. He is American Heart Association certified BLS and ACLS instructor and also the member of Airway Management Foundation of India. His areas of interest are simplified transfer of knowledge and skills pertaining to both anesthesiology and leadership. He fights for what is right and what is rational. He has out-of-box approach towards common problems, and his areas of interest also include airway. Welcome you, Dr. Aviral.
Thank you, Dr. Kamna, Professor Naveen, and all the esteemed panelists here. Thank you. Very much delighted to be with you all.
Our next panelist is Dr. Akshay Sudhir Yadav. Dr. Akshay is senior resident doctor at Lokmanya Tilak Municipal Medical College and General Hospital, Sion, Mumbai, Maharashtra. Dr. Akshay has been felicitated at national level by FIMA, that is a National Association of Medical of RDAs, and also he has his contribution in COVID-19 pandemic. He has won various national awards by IMA, the Best Young Doctor Award, Best Medical Resident Doctor, COVID Warrior Award, etc. He has been an advisor at BMC MARD, an advisor at SNO India. He is also secretary for International Junior Doctors Network and international chair in bioethics. He has been the former president at Sion Resident Doctors Association. He has been former state board of governors at FODA, former national co-convener at IMA JDN, and former vice president of IMSA. He has 4 international publications and has also won Best Case Presentation at WAD conference. His areas of interest are critical care. Welcome you, Dr. Akshay.
Thank you so much.
Our next panelist is Dr. Amit Yadav. Dr. Amit Yadav is a PG student at SMS Medical College and Hospital at Jaipur. He has been the past president of Jaipur Resident Doctors Association. He has been the past vice president at FIMA. He has won the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Leadership Award. His RDA won the Best RDA Award in 2021 to 2022. He has been awarded the Trailblazers Real Hero Award. His areas of interest are pain management. Dr. Amit Yadav, we welcome you.
Thank you, Dr. Kamna. I feel honored to be part of this session. Thank you so much.
Our next panelist is Dr. Vinay Kumar. Dr. Vinay Kumar is senior resident doctor at AIIMS, New Delhi. He has done his MD from Meerut and his MBBS from Kanpur. He is the chief coordinator. He has been the chief coordinator of his MBBS batch. He has been the ex-president at RDA of LLRM Medical College, Meerut. He has also been ex-president of RDA at Uttar Pradesh. Currently, he is the president of RDA AIIMS, New Delhi, and his areas of interest are obviously leadership. Welcome, Dr. Vinay.
Thank you so much.
We also have here with us Dr. Kulsaurabh Kaushik. Dr. Kulsaurabh is associate consultant at Department of Critical Care Medicine, JP Hospital. He has been the past national secretary of FODA. His achievements range from Best Young Doctor Award by IMA in 2022 to 2023, Young Doctor Award by DMA, COVID Warrior Awardee by Team FODA, and he has been taking keen interest in cricket also. He has been captain of East Delhi Cricket Club of DMA, and his areas of interest range from leadership to innovation to sports. Welcome, Dr. Kul Saurabh.
Thank you, Kamna, and I would like to thank Dr. Naveen for having me here. Thanks a lot.
So here we kickstart today's session. My first question is to Dr. Aviral. Dr. Aviral, why do you think it's important to have leadership in our fraternity? And what's the importance of having organizations like RDAs when all of us are obviously well educated and well aware of our rights, of our duties, and all the medical legal aspects of our job? And what's the need of having leaders and leadership in our area of work?
So yeah, hi. Thank you for this wonderful question. Actually, this is one question which we have been meaning to address through our forums in the past, and this which has been a very pertinent problem for all of us, because doctors as a community are a very learned community, a very informed community, and as a downside to this, it's very difficult to make them reason something out, to pull them together for a cause, because everywhere you will have a different school of opinion, and that's where the divide starts. So before I begin, I have prepared a small presentation for this. When you ask this question about what a leadership is, I believe that a leadership in a learned community like us is basically a symphony, more like an orchestra of very intellectual and very smart and talented people playing together, coming to harmony, just at the whims and fancies and the instructions by following somebody who they choose as a leader, who doesn't necessarily possess every skill that the team members have, but then aligns them beautifully and rhythmically and in a synchronized manner to give an output which obliterates every talent individually, but collectively supersedes everything. So when we talk about leadership in a learned community like us, I ask this question that someone has to gear up, someone has to lead from the front, someone has to carry the mantle forward. And it could be anybody. It could be me. It could be you. It could be as in the past we have seen many students who their classmates would think are nothing exceptional, but would have risen to the occasion and have proved that if at all someone decides to ask the right question, does not settle at being bullied into accepting policies, and raises the voice at the right point of time and raises it consistently, then it does make all the difference. So let me bring your attention to the fact that we as a learned community have always been exposed to a game of chess. I believe that all the RDAs in this country and all the political parties in this country in their mind play a game of chess. So when we talk about the game of chess, I want you to focus and concentrate on a pawn. A pawn is somebody who is the smallest piece in the entire chessboard, which are the most numerous and which are the most expendable. But those are the ones that begin the game, and one has to move forward. And it is your choice, or you feel how the game, but one pawn has to move forward, and he leads the way. He opens up the game. He opens up all the possibilities. And this pawn, although in his journey can be sacrificed, can go out of the game, linger on in the game, and later on even become a queen by the standards of the game. But this pawn plays a very, very crucial role. In my opinion, as I view it, I feel that a pawn is nothing but a resident in the entire healthcare system. A resident is somebody who is very small in the figment of the entire healthcare system, but is also the most numerous, is also the most pivotal, is also very much role changing, and is also the one who begins it, who is there at the very, very grassroots level, at the very, very basic fabric of any hospital. So I believe that one of the pawns has to step forward, if nothing else. Also, to put it into a perspective, I believe that all of us, males and females alike, have had the fortune to buy, or the misfortune to go and buy vegetables and fruits in a market. So, what do you do when you go to a vendor and choose a fruit of your choice? Say there are a bunch of grapes lying down, there are a bunch of strawberries lying down, or there are a bunch of bananas lying down, and you have to choose a bunch amongst them. What do? You choose and select one of your liking, and based on what you feel about that fruit, right then and there you buy the entire bunch. So that individual fruit of that a bunch of grapes, or a set of bananas, is actually representing the entire cohort of the fruits that are present there. And that is what is, I want to bring your attention again to the fact that in a medical community, we have to choose our leaders very, very carefully, because those leaders, they represent us. They are the ones which finally help in the decision making of either it's a make or a break. Because if my voice is to be heard, I have to be somebody who has the potential, or who has the determination to be heard, and who has the skill set to communicate, and who has the the audacity to convince the authorities, or maybe anybody in question. So I believe that leadership in our field, especially the healthcare workers, is something which is very, very much needed right now. Then the question naturally arises that what is so wrong if we don't choose a leader? Because eventually, when we take the Hippocratic Oath, we are all working for the welfare of the patients, and that is what everything is designed to in our healthcare system. But we have to understand that when we talk about policy making, policy making is something that has eventual outcome of patient benefit or the community benefit at its very center or core. But in that process, sometimes the policymakers inadvertently, or by the very basic layout of a policy making, sometimes the policies are unjust or not in the best interest of we residents, or other young doctors, and even senior faculties and doctors, or doctors as a whole, if we don't try to put them into a certain umbrella. So somebody has to balance these scales, between policy making, between patient outcomes, and also between personal outcomes as far as our welfare is concerned. So I believe that leadership in our community, to summarize, is something which will provide our community with a direction and a vision which is needed to channelize our inner strengths and our inner beliefs. It also encourages all of us to be a team player, and just sometimes we have to fight the system. That is how it is. I think with every association, the word association itself comes into place, because something has to somebody is raising a voice. So just by the basic architect of it, we have to choose leaders from within. That is very, very, very essential in our current strata and current circumstances.
So, Dr. Aviral, I've been told that you're the first anesthetist at MAMC who has assumed office, right? So why do you think anesthetists are reluctant to pick up this post? Why are people not coming forward from our branch to lead us?
Since you mentioned it, Dr. Kamna, let me tell my audience that in Maulana Azad Medical College, since a decade, no anesthetist has assumed the office of president of the Resident Doctors Association. Of course, there have been other, posts which have been assumed. But this is the first time in a long time that an anesthetist has come forward. And while we were choosing, while the process of choosing was going on, we realized that, anesthetists are somebody who are perfectly suited for the job. So when you ask this question, it naturally brings us to the next forefront that why not, choose an anesthetist? So as we all know, it is commonly associated with us that, an anesthesiologist is a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But I say that a jack of all trades is any day better than a master of one, because we are a branch which has infiltrated the entire hospital community so deeply we are there in every surgical branch, in every operation theater, as people running the ICU. We interact with all the other non-surgical specialties as well, including the non-clinical ones. So, when we have such good outreach, we have a very, very good infiltration. We interact with the residents, with the doctors of other branches almost on a daily basis. In our hospital, that is almost, in a week, we sift through the entire hospital once, because it's a rotatory kind of a system here. So it's different everywhere. But what I want to point out is that, an anesthetist interacts. An anesthetist is known by every resident. Everybody is familiar with his or her presence, and he has an excellent outreach. He has the contact numbers of every surgical postgraduate, senior resident, and even sometimes, consultants. And, they can always keep in touch. They can always keep themselves abreast of the current issues in a hospital. They go to every nook and corner of the hospital. And there also they can, explore what is wrong and understand what is wrong and really fight for it. Moreover, when you see this picture, if you see this picture, you see that there is a boat, there is a thunderstorm. Of course, there is $dollar printed on the board. It's a doctor's board after all. But, there is one who is leading the way, and the other guiding, the boat across the storm based on the instructions they are receiving from the one leading the way. So an anesthetist, in my opinion, is somebody who is, very much trained in critical and crisis management skills. We are somebody who interact with critical and life-saving procedures on a daily basis. We know how to keep calm. We know how to, keep cool. We know what the best outcome and a next best step is going to be. And therefore, who better than an anesthetist at the helm of all the major affairs in such a management? And of course, because as you see in the picture, the person is, incomplete without the other two. He cannot do both the things simultaneously. So it's basically an amalgamation of multidisciplinary teams. So he, of course, needs his, assistants and, not assistants per se, he needs his supporters. He needs his right hand, left hand, wingman, anything that you want to call it, but he needs support. And he's incomplete without it. And he has all the skill set to build a community. He, like in the picture, he has all the skill set to, advocate for a social collaboration. And therefore, also keeping in mind that, this picture demonstrates that, we are the last phase that a patient sees while undergoing GA. And of course, the first phase that, when he comes back. So the patient basically is handing his or her life into her hands. And we are the last possible contact. Anything can go wrong during a surgery, during anesthesia, and we might as well be the last phase he ever saw, God forbid. So, we are somebody who, are at the last step between, life and death. And therefore, we are the ones who advocate for patient safety, patient consents, patient high risk every time. And therefore, we will always keep in mind the outcome of the community also in our mind. And not be selfish or not self-centric so much while running an association that we completely forget the bigger goal. Right. So to summarize, I believe that the versatile nature of our jobs, the adaptability that we have, the management skills in a crisis that we have, and the patient safety advocacy skill that we possess, all make cause for the anesthetist to be at the helm of major affairs.
Right. I want to ask Dr. Vinay. Dr. Vinay, why do you think that it's important to inculcate leadership during residency days? And why do you think that people are still not coming forward despite being ideally suited for the job? Over to you, Dr. Vinay.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting this big platform. I think leadership should be there in resident doctors from starting only, because resident doctors are the frontline patient caregiver, making critical decision, overseeing treatment plans. By developing leadership skill, they can effectively coordinate and manage the healthcare teams, ensuring that the patient receive the best possible care and safety measures are implemented on time. A second aspect is teamwork and collaboration. Leadership skill enables the resident doctor to effectively collaborate with other healthcare professionals like nurses, technicians, pharmacists. Effective teamwork lead to improved patient outcome, reduced medical errors, and more efficient healthcare system overall can be given to the patient. And meanwhile, as a leader, resident doctor can also become strong advocate for the patient. They can speak up for the patient right, ensure informed consent, and empower patient to actively participate in their own healthcare decision. Leadership skill help resident doctor to navigate complex ethical and communication challenges, ensuring that the patient voices are heard and respected. Meanwhile, leadership involves fostering a culture of continuous empowerment and innovation. Resident doctors with leadership skill are better equipped to identify areas of improvement in healthcare delivery, implementation of evidence-based practices, and contribute to the research and quality improvement initiative. They can inspire their colleagues to embrace change and drive positive transformation in healthcare system. Moreover, a resident can collaborate with administration, with other healthcare giver community, and they can organize any event, any thing which can lead to a better outcome for the patient as well as medical community. Meanwhile, as a leader, resident doctor can also raise the voice of their own colleagues to the from the administration as well as from the government. As a leader, during my entire career, I was always there to stand for my colleagues. जैसे मैंने बहुत सारी चीजें, can I speak in Hindi?
Sure, sir, sure.
जैसे मैंने बहुत सारे अपने करियर के टाइम पर चीजों को देखा और उससे समझा कि अगर जीएसवीएम में पढ़ने का एक यही फायदा था कि शुरू से ही लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज का डेवलपमेंट था वहां पर। तो एमबीबीएस के टाइम पर एक इंसिडेंट हुआ था जिसमें हम लोग हॉस्टल के कमरे में पढ़ रहे थे और एक विधायक के कुछ लोग आकर पुलिस के साथ मिलकर और हम लोगों को उन्होंने हॉस्टल में हमारे रेजिडेंट्स को, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को मारा था, जो कि बहुत बड़ी घटना थी। 2013 की बात है ये। उस दौरान जितने भी हम लोग थे, जितने लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज जिसमें थी, मुझे लगता है कि ये कहना कोई शर्माने की बात नहीं है कि लीडरशिप क्वालिटी जिसमें थी, वो सब उस मैदान को छोड़कर भागे नहीं। बहुत सारे लोग भाग गए, बहुत सारे लोग गए। वो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर उस एट्रोसिटी के खिलाफ खड़े थे और उस पूरे इंसिडेंट से जो एक यूनिटी आई थी मेडिकल कम्युनिटी में ऑल ओवर इंडिया, वो बीइंग अ प्रोफेशनल नॉट ट्रू लीडर, वो जो प्रोफेशनल लीडर्स होते हैं, पार्टीज के लीडर होते हैं, उनको भी झुका दिया था। तो जब मैं रेजिडेंसी में आया और मैंने आरडीए की बागडोर संभाली, तब भी बहुत सारे ऐसे इंसिडेंट थे जिसमें हमें कभी पेशेंट के अटेंडेंट से लड़ना पड़ जाता था, उनको समझ में नहीं आती हैं। और कई बार अटेंडेंट 90% ठीक होते हैं, 10% ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट में नहीं होते पेशेंट के, वो मिलने आते हैं या भीड़ बढ़ाने आते हैं, उनसे ही बेसिकली लड़ना होता है। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर आपके पास लीडरशिप होगा, तो जैसे मैंने पहले भी बताया कि आप बहुत सारे कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स आपके डेवलप हो चुके होंगे, तो आप एक्चुअल सिचुएशन को कैसे हैंडल करना है वो आपको आ जाएगा, क्योंकि आपको पता है कि एज अ लीडर कि आपको कब फ्लेक्सिबल होना है और कब आपको अड़े रहना है। To be normal, to sometimes you have to be strong sometimes and you have to be polite sometimes। तो ये चीज लीडरशिप के दौरान, जब आप में लीडरशिप होगी तभी आएगी। रेजिडेंसी के टाइम पे, जैसा कि मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि रेजिडेंसी के टाइम पे लीडरशिप की क्यों जरूरी है, वो इसीलिए जरूरी है क्योंकि 99% जो पेशेंट पहले अगर किसी भी हॉस्पिटल में आता है, गवर्नमेंट सेटअप की अगर बात करें, तो वो रेजिडेंट के पास ही आता है। और उस समय रेजिडेंट को अगर लीडरशिप क्वालिटी उसके अंदर डेवलप होगी या वो सोचेगा इस तरीके से, तो वो नहीं करेगा कोई ऐसा काम जिससे चीजें और खराब हो। तो ये चीज मैं इसका स्ट्रॉन्ग एडवोकेट हूँ कि लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज होनी चाहिए। लीडरशिप क्वालिटी जब आप होती है तो आप कोई पेशेंट आता है, आप उसको अच्छी केयर देते हो, आप अदर स्टाफ जो आपके कोलीग्स हैं उनसे भी कहते हो कि भाई ये नहीं, ये सही है, ये गलत है, आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन से भी क्वेश्चन करते हो। क्योंकि बहुत ऐसे स्टेट मेडिकल कॉलेज हैं जहाँ कुछ सामान आता ही नहीं है। मैं खुल के बोलता हूँ कि स्टेट मेडिकल कॉलेज में कुछ सामान नहीं आता, मरीज आता है उसको लिख के सामान दे दिया जाता है। उस चीज को आपको कैसे टैकल करना है वो आपको लीडरशिप के टाइम पे ही आएगा, क्योंकि ये प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है उस चीज को इलेबोरेट करने का। लेकिन जब आप में एक मैनेजमेंट क्वालिटी होगी, जो कि एक लीडर का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट होता है, मैनेजमेंट क्वालिटी होगी, तो आप पेशेंट को अच्छा केयर दे पाओगे, आप अपने कलीग्स और खुद को झगड़े से बचा पाओगे, और आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को इन्वॉल्व करके द बेस्ट पॉसिबल केयर पेशेंट को दोगे अपने जो प्रोफेशनल वर्क है वो।
जी जी। सो बेसिकली लीडरशिप रेजिडेंसी से ही स्टार्ट होती है।
रेजिडेंसी नहीं, मैं तो ये कहता हूँ
उससे पहले ही स्टार्ट हो जाती है, एमबीबीएस टाइम से
होते हैं ना, तभी से आनी चाहिए। और लीडरशिप जब होगी तो आप कहते हैं कि बीइंग अ लीडर, मेरा ये मानना है कि डू नॉट वॉक इन फ्रंट, आई मे नॉट फॉलो, do not walk behind me, I may not be a good leader, walk beside me and let the problem be faced, should fight together.
Beautiful lines, beautiful lines. So इसी बात पे I want to ask Dr. Kulsaurabh Kaushik. Dr. Kulsaurabh FODA में रह चुके हैं. You've been in as a secretary of FODA, which is a huge national organization, Dr. Kulsaurabh. I want to ask you, what are the challenges that you have faced as leader of such a big organization, and how have you managed those challenges? Administration, politics, a lot of pressure from all sides. So how do you think, we as upcoming leaders can handle those challenges?
Thank you, Kamna. Thank you, Kamna and Naveen sir, for having me here. And at the same time, I would just appreciate and at the same time thanks Naveen sir for creating this platform for young leaders to present themselves. And I would put my opinion in a form of presentation, and I shall be talking about my life experiences that I have come across and how I have tackled them. So leadership is a So, as it is very rightly said that leadership is a timeless and indispensable concept that has changed societies, organizations, and individuals and societies throughout the history. So, challenges that come across while being a leader is, first of all, a decision making. Certain times it is very tough to take the decision for the betterment, and it becomes tough when we are in the clouds of confusion and we are expected to take best of the decision at that time. So if you get confused during those times and your decision is not right, that doesn't only hamper your own personality, it hampers a lot of people who are following you behind your thought process. Another thing that I feel is a leader must have good communications and convincibility. Both the above points, I shall quote it with giving a small example. Let us just compare two situations that there happens any verbal feud between a doctor, a junior resident doctor, and a nursing staff, maybe, or any other staff of the hospital. Mm-hmm. And another situation is a verbal assault to a resident doctor by some attendee, by some attendant of a patient. And another situation is a major violence episode that happens in your hospital. So here comes the decision-making part. You need to decide how to act and with what magnitude you need to react upon. You cannot just keep on giving the threats to the society of holding the services, healthcare services. You need to calm down the situation depending upon what actually has been hampered. So once after having a discussion with your team and then coming to a best decision, then comes the point of convincibility and communication. Now you need to communicate it with the authorities and the administration. What all actions are required that would satisfy the person who has been assaulted and at the same time the fraternity. Mm-hmm. So this communication and convincibility plays a major part into this. Otherwise, you may not be able to communicate. If you are not able to communicate it in a right manner, then you may not be able to convince your own team, and that it becomes a very very difficult situation to handle. And and now third thing that I feel is as a leader that we face as a challenge is integrity and ethics. And this is a challenge, and at the same time it's a quality that is expected out of a leader. If your integrity as a leader is maintained, you do not just fall upon small challenges, small kind of facts, maybe small kind of offerings that are offered to you once you are a leader. Because as a leader, you decide the fate of a situation, or maybe any kind of agitation or protest. At different times, you're offered and even threatened because of just ongoing issues between the government and the resident doctors. So at that time, it is your integrity that decides the fate of your movement. Example, I would quote an example that like I would quote an example of that during COVID times there was if you people remember that there was a notification from PMO that offered that said that the timeless extension was put to the residents' tenure, and once the COVID situation was down, there was no notification or no hold to that notification. So we had those dialogues with the communications, and because the integrity and the ethics of the organization, as I was the national secretary of FODA at that time. So because the ethics and integrity of that of our organization was quite good in the eyes of authorities, so we could solve that one very major problem with the dialogues only. That I totally say that it happened because of good integrity and ethics that we have been maintaining.
So communication goes both ways, to your resident doctors as well as to the higher authorities. And you have to justify ethics in both sides, right?
Another thing that I feel is that a successful leader journey is backed by his team. Leader empowers his teammates and even discover new leaders to make society stronger. At many instances, there have been times that I have felt myself alone in some situation. Then it's my consistent efforts and team building attitude that has saved me off. During residency days, I would quote another example that during residency days, ad hoc SRs were getting much less salaries despite no such authentic notification from any government authority. I, along with my RDA teammates and few other SRs, started the issue and found it was happening because of some kind of procedural issues that nobody took this into importance, and nobody just took care of it. And then we raised this issue against the authorities, and it was just a few dialogues that happened between the RDA and the authority, and it was found that there is no such notification that the ad hoc SRs will get less salaries and the regular SRs will get the higher salary.
Higher salary.
Yeah. Thereafter, there came a notification from directly from DMER, and we even got the previous salaries. So that was a team approach, and we did not have any agitation or protest for the same. And now one of the major challenges is pressure from the external and internal forces. By external, we mean government, administration, media, at times faculties, at times family members, and then the social issues being faced because of the patients that are void of the medical services because of the protest by the resident doctors. We as Team FODA staged one of the largest ever protests under the banner of FODA for NEET PG counseling. We were pressurized by every possible means. But we just stood by, not reacting to any stimuli, and that was the true key to success. And by internal pressure, I mean expectations and pressure from the from cohort that you are taking along, because it is very difficult to pressure internal pressure rather than the external pressure, because expectations are very difficult to handle. There are thousands of people that are following you and just going by the blind commands that you do. And if you're not able to satisfy those, your peers, then it becomes very difficult to face them. And it is an art to handle the pressure, which is learned with the experience. And trust me, once you learn it, then you can you can do it. You can create magics. And one more important thing is that this experience, that quality of handling pressure cannot be just a default setting. One needs to learn it by jumping into the true scenario. So the core topic that we are talking about is that to inculcate leadership among the young anesthesiologists. I would not touch on the topic that why anesthesiologists it is important, because many of my colleagues are sharing it. But yes, I would definitely say that anesthesiologists are the most talented and most in contact people in the hospital. They have like infiltrated every part of the hospital, so they have a major advantage. And communications, people may say it that we do not have direct patient communication, but I have felt it with my experience that the communication what we have, nobody has. We allay their anxiety, we talk them during their anxiety period, during post-op period. So the communication that we have, I don't think any other specialty does have it. And these are few pictures that we staged the protest. We were assaulted by the police at ITO. Thereafter, all across the nation, we got a major support. And we were given a mass arrest because of this protest at the night time. And I was told to count the number of heads to get it listed and press media to give the number of arrest. And I was sorry I cannot count this number. This is endless numbers. So it is something that if you are standing on a right cause, people will definitely follow you. But at the same time, you have to satisfy their expectations. And this is another thing is Dr. Namrata would be definitely emphasizing on this work-life balance. And personal life balance is very important. If your peace of mind is not, if your mind is not in the peaceful state, then definitely your decisions cannot be right. And I would like show you this picture. Because I was not able to give time to my family for 1 month. So this lady standing with this RDA, CNBC, she's my wife. I involved her into my own protest. That you come and join. So
that's excellent.
Another issue that I want to talk upon is the contribution of an organization that we have been cherishing, that is Indian Society of Anesthesiologists, and for the resident doctors. And to emphasize that, I would talk about this ongoing DM and DRNB critical care issue. Recently, there has been a change in super specialty entrance exam that has devoid equal opportunity to anesthesia resident to appear for critical care branch as their choice. As per the new scheme, all the questions are to be asked from medicine specialty, which undoubtedly has given an undue advantage to the medicine residents. Residents, along with ISA, has been looking onto the matter since last 2 years. At first year, we were able to defend in the court of law, and exam was conducted as per the previous scheme only. ISA was a major contributor in the success. Dr. Naveen himself was very much involved and with major interest in the issue, and he's been doing it now also. Last year, same conflict happened again due to NBMS adamancy to sustain with the newer scheme, and we again fought a case in Supreme Court, but this time we were not able to succeed. But ISA didn't give up. A delegation led by Dr. Naveen Malhotra arranged meeting with NMC and MOHFW, that is Ministry of Health, to discuss the matter in detail, emphasizing the loss of young anesthesiologists and also the wastage of critical care seats due to new scheme. And we have strongly demanded for reconsideration of the pattern. Sir is still onto it. We'll make all best possible efforts, and also we are hopeful that we'll get justice to our young anesthesiologists. This is the picture of representation that we have made, and at the same time, I would like to use this opportunity to mention about the efforts that are being made by ISA, that is Indian Society of Anesthesiologists, for including pain medicine in the DM and DNB super specialty programs. It would also open a door to in numerous opportunities for resident doctors pursuing pain medicine as the specialty. And Dr. Naveen has been taking keen interest into this also. Now, an important topic regarding indemnity. Professional indemnity. I shall not take much time onto this as we have an expert to tell you about this benefit of the indemnity, but I shall emphasize on two major facts regarding indemnity. One, that is very common misconception that indemnity is just meant for senior doctors or consultants. This is, I don't know how people believe this misconception and how do they have this into their head, because myself personally, when I was doing the national secretariat of FODA, invariably once in a month I used to get one resident doctor or a senior resident doctor who was stuck into such kind of thick medical legal issue. Nobody gives, no court of law says that if you are a junior doctor and if you are a senior resident, then you are not liable for any kind of medical legal issue. If the mistake has been done under your supervision or your guide, it was you who was taking down the case, then definitely if somebody is aliegating you just by saying that you are a resident doctor, won't give you an escape. And I would very openly say that when I was the resident doctor, I also believed same, that resident doctors cannot be allegated for the medical legal issues. I also had the same belief, but I've seen so many cases, and now I request and I suggest people to have this indemnity professional insurance. And legal suits alleging negligence by docs are equally negligence by doctors are equally reported for both senior as well as junior doctors. Secondly, it is assumed that indemnity is an undue expense or undue burden of your budget, especially by junior doctors. But trust me, during my tenure as National Secretary at FODA, I have told this that I come across so many medical legal issues. And if we compare risk to benefit ratio, and risk to benefit ratio is a very basic concept that we have been understanding in the medical practice. So here the risk benefit ratio is synonymous with the cost benefit ratio. So the cost we put in the indemnity is too less to the benefit that it offers. So for this, I would ask one professional specialist to elaborate some benefits, some major benefits of indemnity. So can we add?
Now we got Mr. Amit Saran from Cover You. So I think he will be a better person to reply to that.
Welcome, Dr. Amit.
Mr. Amit.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Amit, yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Naveen, and thank you, Dr. Kamna, and thank you, Dr. Kaushik also. So yes, as we are talking about this very, very important topic, which is indemnity, and I personally feel that indemnity insurance plays a very, very crucial role in anesthesia practice by providing financial protection and support to anesthesiologists. And there are many reasons, but right now I would like to talk about 5 most important reasons why we personally feel that indemnity insurance is very, very crucial. So starting with legal protection, anesthesiologists are exposed to potential lawsuits or claims alleging medical malpractice due to the nature of their work. So indemnity insurance offers legal protection by covering the cost of legal defense, especially including the attorney fees. Of course, even financial coverage is a very, very important point. So in the event of a medical malpractice claim, indemnity insurance helps cover potential financial damages, settlements, or judgments that may arise from a lawsuit also. And of course, indemnity insurance gives us peace of mind. So anesthesiologists work in a high stakes environment where patient safety is of utmost importance. So having indemnity insurance provides peace of mind, allowing them to focus on providing quality care without constantly worrying about potential lawsuits. And of course, the reputation protection is also a very, very important point. medical malpractice claim can tarnish an anesthesiologist's professional reputation. So indemnity insurance assists in managing and mitigating the potential damage to their reputation by providing sources to handle legal proceedings and of course to address any adverse outcomes also. And lastly, career mobility is also a very important reason why indemnity insurance is very, very important, because it often is a requirement for anesthesiologists to secure employment in hospitals, healthcare institutions, and even private practices. So having indemnity insurance is a key for all these things. So it demonstrates a commitment to professional responsibility and accountability, facilitating career mobility and of course enhancing professional opportunities for anesthesiologists also. So overall, what I'm trying to say is indemnity insurance is vital for anesthesiologists as it provides them with essential financial protection, legal protection, peace of mind, and of course allowing them to focus on their patients' well-being and maintaining the highest standards of care. Lastly, I would like to also mention a case where an anesthesiologist obviously had got sued. So this was a very interesting case I want to share with all of you. A 6-year-old child was admitted due to a small squint eye surgery. Medical negligence by the anesthesiologist led to the child's death. The doctor ruled out the necessity for further tests like ECG, echo, chest X-ray, and declared the child was fit for general anesthesia when the child was brought to the hospital. The child was brought to the hospital on an empty stomach on the scheduled date and taken to the operation theatre only at 2 p.m. The allegations pointed out that the gap of 9 hours and 20 minutes of fasting led the child to hypoglycemic, a potential cardiac arrest threat. Another allegation was that halothane was used as an anesthetic agent, which was known to cause bradycardia. So the hearts of adults are usually beating between 60 to 100 times a minute. In bradycardia, the heart beats fewer than 60 times a minute. So normally, atropine is administered as a pre-medication to prevent the same. The parents of the child alleged that the child had not been administered the right dose and that there had been a huge gap of time between atropinization and actual surgery. The child had a cardiac arrest and died. The court imposed a fine of 1 crore on the anesthesiologist for medical negligence. The commission said that the anesthesiologist should have warned the operating surgeon. The commission also found merit in the contention that the surgery could have been postponed. So the commission found the anesthesiologist liable for medical negligence for having failed to exercise their duty of care. So ultimately what I'm trying to say with this case is that it is very important that an anesthesiologist is always covered with indemnity in such a scenario, because these type of situations can happen whether they are intentional or unintentional. So definitely we have to be very, very careful about these type of scenarios. So thank you very much, Dr. Naveen Malhotra ji and Dr. Kamna ji for giving me this opportunity. So completely back to you. Thank you.
Amit, I want to have I want to ask you questions for a better understanding. I'll just take one couple of minutes. That it is assumed that it is a general conception that whatever is being promised in the list of why is it said that it is so economical? Will it include each and everything that is being said or what is being said in the air? And does it actually offer the legal protection? And what kind of legal protection does it offer? So I would just want you to brief these few points.
Right. So basically, nowadays, as far as protecting the doctors are concerned, in this case, the anesthesiologist that we are talking about, So yes, absolutely. Nowadays, the insurances from the moment that the first notice comes and the call is made by the anesthesiologist, from that moment till the end, when the case is settled and closed, the entire process is basically has become completely cashless. And of course, if there is a indemnity insurance in place, the anesthesiologist need not worry about anything. Ultimately, the moment he has got a notice, the moment he shares it via online or message or WhatsApp or whichever the medium, from that moment, that problem will stop becoming of the anesthesiologist and it will start becoming of the person who has provided the cover, the institution. And of course, after that, immediately till the end, it is a cashless process. And finally, the compensation will be paid to the patient and the case will be closed. So it is something that every anesthesiologist should consider and understand in today's time, especially that it is very important that we have this kind of insurance and cover because the Indian judicial system, as everybody knows, is very, very slow. The cases prolong for 7, 10 or 15 years also. So obviously the reputation of the anesthesiologist and doctor is also taking a beating every day as the case is prolonging. So it's always better to have your indemnity insurance in place so that the whole situation is taken care of very, very quickly.
A very brief question, just answer in few lines. Is there any hidden cost?
Yes, so very clearly I will answer that no. The cost is including GST, whatever the price is, let's say is a 1 crore or a 5 crore sum assured. Whatever the amount is, whether it is 3,000 or 10,000 or whatever the amount is, depending on the sum assured, it is including GST. Everything is included in that. All services are included in that. And as I said, that the entire process is cashless from there on.
Thanks, Dr. Thanks, Amit.
Thank you.
Dr. Kulsaurabh, so अभी तक आपने जो बताया, what I've learned is that being leader of a big organization, you have seen these litigation cases, you've seen pressures from internal sources, from external sources, you've handled them really well. So I want to ask Naveen, sir, what about the critical care medicine issue? How far has it come along?
The critical care issue is an ongoing thing. And as Kulsaurabh rightly said, I firmly believe that since the Department of Anesthesiology was formed decades and decades back, the ICU was being looked after by the anesthesiologist. We named as RICU, Respiratory Intensive Care Unit, or ICU, ICCU, or Critical Care Unit. And 70% of the critical care specialists in our country right now are anesthesiologists. With this background, we went to the Honorable Supreme Court, which decided in our favor in first year, and then for technical reasons in the second year, it went against us. The crux is that we have the critical care entrance exam has been put in the field of specialty of medicine, internal medicine. So all questions will come from internal medicine. We have asked for three things simply. Either roll back to the old pattern, like 50% questions from critical care and 40% from the rest of the specialty, or put critical care into the anesthesia stream. Like we are eligible for cardiac anesthesia, neuro anesthesia, and neonatal, transplant, and critical care. So critical care comes into that. Or third is make critical care a separate exam, where the questions are pertaining to the critical care and your parent specialty. Honorable Supreme Court has given a directive to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. This year, around 1,000 seats remain vacant, out of which 250, that means around 25% seats were of critical care. The 25% vacant seats of a superspecialty program is from a single specialty of critical care. And that is primarily because of the change examination pattern. 200 plus DNB seats and 25 odd DM seats were vacant, which is a huge number. So they have given this directive to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare to find out why such a big wastage of super specialty programs seats by remaining vacant, why we are losing so many super specialists. Find out a way. So we have suggested this thing now to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, because Supreme Court has put the ball back into the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. But I personally feel that, see, these are the government channels. You have to keep on following the files. I personally quote, once we started FNB pain medicine, the FNB pain medicine was conceptualized in January 2019. It got approved, then it got approval from National Board of Examination, different bodies, curriculum was written. In between came the COVID. So things got delayed. Then the program got notified, but the centers have to be accredited. Then the centers got accredited, then came the entrance exam. So the first entrance exam, the FET, Fellowship Entrance Test of FNB Pain Medicine, which is a 2-year dedicated course for chronic pain for anesthesiologists in accredited centers of National Board of Examination Medical Sciences. The first exam was held in 2023, 4 years. And I'm happy to share with you that me and my team, I was convener of National Board of Examinations at that time. So our team approved the courses of FNB pain medicine, transplant, trauma and critical care, pediatric anesthesia, and onco anesthesia. The 3 courses curriculum was finalized in our tenure itself. But we have to have infinite patience. The courses which were approved in 2019, the FET exam occurred in 2023. Same way, we have to keep on following the DM critical care issue also. We don't have to put lakhs. In the second year, in the 2022, all the expenses of the court case were equally borne from anesthesia side by Indian Society of Anesthesiologists and Indian Society for Critical Care Medicine. The residents have only to just sign the papers because court listens to the affected party. And who is the affected party? The examinees. So my request is, please keep on following the directives which come from ISA and ISCCM towards this case. We are committed to follow up this case at all quarters, whether it is Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, whether it is NMC, whether it is PMO, or other political NVEMS, or other political persons who matter. But you also please be more proactive, because it is your cause. We will definitely defend it. But we have to have some patience, and we won't stop trying till we succeed. That's my point over it.
Thank you, sir. Sir has also been very active in PG resident welfare. I've been told that he has held online BG classes on YouTube channel, which have accumulated more than 1 lakh hours per month. He has also started ISA online quiz for PG. His daily quiz being held online. Neon ISA fellowship has been started, which earlier had just around 200 participants, but now we have around 2,000 participants who have taken part in this ISA fellowship exam. There are various awards being started under Dr. Naveen's guidance for trainees, Trainee Talent Award, BB Mishra Memorial Young Anesthesiology Award, MT Bhatia Young Pain Physician Award, Dr. Lalit Mehendirata Yuva Researcher Award. So Dr. Naveen sir has been just fabulous as General Secretary so far. Thank you, sir, for fighting us for this DM critical care exam as well. And sir, I think we should now continue back.
Thank you. Yes, we should listen to more RDA office bearers than talking about me. Thank you, Kamna, for those comments.
Thank you, sir. I want to ask Dr. Namrata now. Dr. Namrata, you've been very active in Karnataka. You are doing DM critical care, right? DMP critical care.
Yeah.
So how are you able to manage academics with this extracurricular activities, despite being a female, despite having responsibilities as a woman? It must be so tough for you, right?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank Naveen sir for having me here. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to share my opinions and thoughts. And indeed, it creates a motivation and inspiring others also to take up as leaders. And I would like to tell, I have a small presentation here. I would like to share that. 1 second. Is my slides visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what I would like to begin with is, of course, the motive or the fact with which we join our residency is to gain the degree and also excel in our academics. So along with our excelling in academics, the basic funda is to excel in our academics, the co-curricular activities plays a significant role. So indeed, it helps you to excel in academics by being a part of your co-curricular activities. So to have a fruitful educational experience, it is very much important for the students to maintain a perfect balance between curricular and the co-curricular activities. See, our medical profession, how it is a very lengthy impact emotionally, academically, and also physically and financially challenging, which runs for a very long period. You cannot be a master in academics and you cannot be socially a toddler. So it has to go hand in hand. So by the time you finish your academics, you should also be professionally capable enough for you to present yourself to the society, so that you need not face any challenges as being as a newcomer when you start practicing your specialties which you gain the degree in. So it becomes very much important for you yourself to involve in all the co-curricular activities also. So what we call it as a positive youth development. If you inculcate all these co-curricular activities, rather than you burdening yourself by involving in the co-curricular activities, you should think as it is for the personality development, for academic excellence, why you should involving yourself in the co-curricular activities. So I have concised there are n number of advantages, benefits by being yourself in the core curricular activities. The 5 constructs. What constructs I mean to building up your personality. So it helps in competence in academic, social, and vocabulary skills also. See, when it comes to academic skills, it is like breaking the monotony. So once you are reading or into the academics whole week, if you give a break, it regenerates your brain and helps in absorbing more amount of academics, which helps in excelling your academics also. So it is basically giving a break and giving your brain a multitasking. And of course, doing this helps in social development also. You will be more of a social person, which is indeed very much required you as a doctor also. So your speaking abilities, other communication skills also improves. And other thing is the confidence. See, if you are only into academics, you will be only what we call it as a bookworm, but your confidence remains only within the walls of the academics. But when you step out of the academics, which indeed is required to excel in life, of course, with academics, you will excel in the studies. But what is ultimately required is to excel in the life. To excel in the life, when it comes, you holistically approach the life, which includes both academics and as well as the co-curricular academics. In fact, the academics is only till we gain the degrees and what we practice. But to practice, to earn money or to excel there, what adds on, what completes is with the knowledge we have gained, the skills which we have gained, the personality development which we've got with the co-curricular activities. So that becomes very much important to gain confidence for further to lead a successful life. And one more thing is, connection to the family, community, and as well as the peers. So suppose the advantages, co-curricular activities is many. You can involve yourself being a leader, leading an RDA or any other community. So what helps is that you get to know the pulse of others. You will get to know what are the necessities, what are the lackings in our society, what are the requirements of our own friends. You will get to understand more people. You will get to know the mentality of the other people. This helps to connect more to your family, more to the community and your peers also. You will get to know the sufferings or the problems which people around you are facing. So this is with respect to involving in other than academics. And building up your character. See, characterization begins in your teenagers when you join your professional courses. So what I would like to tell is, imagine I would like to give my example. So when I joined my MBBS, I started involving in the characterization. I got to know how a system runs. I got to know what are the problems faced by the while running an institution. There are two sets of people, I would like to say. You should stand unique, because if a problem arises, there are a set of people who sit and speak. These are the problems which are faced, which has no solution, just gossiping. But you should not be in that gang. You should be in that gang where you can find a solution, where you should know how to find a solution for that. So what we call is crisis management. So that is what the characterization happens. So with all these advantages is what you become more a caring and a compassionate person. As Naveen Malhotra sir said, very rightly said, leading is an opportunity to serve. So that is where you will be more caring and compassionate towards your friends first, family, friends, and to the society in a larger number. So these are the few advantages that is involving in the co-curricular and curricular activities. So coming to how to manage this, first and foremost is the time. So manage your time. So as we being anesthesiologists, so once you are into, in fact, I would like to tell that we are indeed on an advantageous side, because if you are in a OT or managing a straightforward ASA1 or a case, you, instead of spending your time more on other things, you can calculate inside your mind, or in fact, you can manage your academics inside OT and of course extracurricular activities outside the OT. So that is how the time management occurs. In managing time, and in fact, is avoiding the wastage of time. That is what. And prioritize your work. Of course, there are days where you'll have to give more time to your academics and less time to your extracurricular academics. So prioritize things, because you cannot let go the extracurricular activities beyond the academics. So make sure that your academics works are done at the first, and give the time, sufficient time, to the extracurricular activities, because you are a leader of a association. There are many number of people who have faith in you, you will be the decision maker. Imagine you are yourself being a decision maker, and many number of people have got a faith in you. So that is how you have grown up to. So that depends on prioritizing work, depends on the time situation which has arisen. Important is to don't procrastinate. Procrastinate is don't delay the works, because when you are a leader, you have to stand out unique. You cannot be one among the others. You have to do things which are different from others. So you cannot keep delaying things. Even the 5 minutes of time you get, it is ample amount of time to decide on things, for the decision making, or for contacting anybody on phone also. So you will have to work with things organized. So I would like to speak with an example, because I was leading an association. One of the activities we had to deal with, because we also worked with a stipend hike for our Karnataka association, for Karnataka residents, which was not being done for almost for 8-10 years. And our association worked for it, and we were successful in getting the stipend hike. And also during the COVID times, where the initial days of COVID, none of the residents were not given the proper the COVID PPE kits or any protection for the working inside the ICUs. So we worked and we have strived hard for that also. So organizing things is, suppose you are leading a team and you will have to do a jata or any awareness program. So immediately you will have to organize in your brain a schematic representation. What are the things you need to do? You will have to inform others, inform all the batches regarding the jata which you are going to do. How you are going to do? That is where comes the building up the team. So you'll have to take help of the leaders or the representatives of the batch and inform them regarding the jata which you are doing. Along with the informing, what you'll have to do, informing the authorities. Informing the authorities that, and next thing which you are gonna do is the how you are gonna do jata and how you are gonna do publicity of about the jata. And next comes the speaking, what more advertisements which you are gonna do. This is how the construction, this is how the construction or the schematic representation which you as a leader is going to do. You cannot go in every aspect, every sector and do the things. That is where you go wrong. That is where the things come. You also have to build up the leaders along with you. As Naveen Malhotra sir said, because leader is not one who leads. Also, you will have to lead along with, you will have to build up the new leaders. You'll have to make people work with you. You'll have to make people know how the things are being done. So you will be the ultimate decision maker, but you should know how to get things done. That you will do after you build up a team. So building up a team is gaining the confidence of others. So this is how the things get work organizedly. And you cannot pull, that is what, to pull all your eggs in basket. You alone cannot do everything, where you will have to seek help. And important thing is you should learn to say no. And also that is when you, I would like to, you also require a social life also, but you cannot have a social life at the midst of a protest or any midst of any event. So that is where you should be telling no to your friends. Prioritizing things. And lastly, what I would like to tell is building up your team is most important, because you will remain as an ultimate decision maker. But distributing the works done, what makes you balance the curricular and co-curricular activities and makes things simpler.
I'd like to add here a few things. Under the guidance of Dr. Naveen sir, there have been massive strides in extracurricular as well as curriculum in ISA. There are publications that have been started for everybody. There are zonal supplements of Indian Journal of Anesthesiology of North and Center, which were there previously, and now South, West, East, and Northeast supplements have been added under the able leadership of Dr. Naveen Malhotra sir. Apart from that, we have PG special issue in January every year. And also for extracurricular, we have art and literary club for paintings, photography, singing. We also have fit anesthesiology, fit anesthesiologist campaign for all the fitness freaks out there. And apart from that, we have social outreach program for everybody who is interested in doing charitable work in tribal areas and remote areas, as well as in blind schools. So Naveen sir has been helping us in building our both extracurricular as well as curricular profile. Thank you, sir, for that. And thank you, Dr. Namrata, for telling us all about how we can be an able leader by balancing both extracurricular and non-extracurricular activities. So there's another question that was in my head. I wanted to ask you, Dr. Namrata, as a woman, what are the challenges you faced, like right from the beginning of where you started and now that you have been into CARD, right? Karnataka. So how has your experience been as a woman? And how do you think more women can, be like you?
Thing is, to be frank, I was indeed very happy to lead a organization like this, because I got into the team which under somebody else's leadership. So the more challenges the women are facing and why they are not able to get into the forefront is because they have this unconsciousness bias where the society treats them, women can take care of the family well. So this is a statement which they make. So that unconsciousness gets inculcated in your mind, where the family, be it any person, family is the first important thing which comes. So not to offend anybody here, a woman can step out of the home and be equal to a man. But a man can not step into a family and cannot take care of the family or the kids or the parents as a female can do that. So to build up a strong nation, to build a strong family is more important. It becomes more important. So I feel that is the reason where female, they restrict themselves, not restrict actually, they take care of the families well. So they are more keen on taking their families well, which the men cannot do, where we can step out of the families and take care of the society as well on par with the men. That comes the work-life, that is where the work-life balance also. Because since we are educated on par with men, along with working, also we'll have to take care of the peace of mind. The peace of mind inside the family applies to the peace of mind at the workplaces also. So females play a major role. I would like to tell an 80% role in maintaining the work-life balance of the entire family, not just for herself. See, being a leader or achieving the epitome of any organization or any to be a strong leader, it is a continuous and a very learning process and a very hard process. And unfortunately, the age becomes a very biggest drawback for the women, because if you are of 35 years or so, you will have to get married within that 35 years. Around within 40 years, you'll have to have a kid. And by then, of course, you'll have to take a break from your profession period also. So, but what I feel, with a strong intent to come back and strong support with the family, this is close to possibility that she can make a very strong comeback. So there is nothing that is impossible for her. So it is only the support of the family and a strong leader, which we are lacking. In fact, of course, there are the survey says that only the 5% among the leaders in the world are females. So there is a strong lack of leadership network among the females, and also the inspiration with which, there are a number of male leaders. We can look, a person next to me can be a leader from when it comes to males. But when it comes to females, not many female leaders are there who we can look up to and get inspired from. So the lack of leadership network among the females is one of the drawbacks with which the females are less intent to come forward. And general lack of support also is one of the lack of support, in the sense, what I can say is a situation made. It is not intently made, which is not the situation created as such, makes the females take care inside the house so that the outside the house is going smoothly. So
the safety issues are there that females feel.
Yeah, that is also one thing which the females lack coming forward also. So the challenges which I have faced is, I would like to say, we had a protest ongoing during our COVID times. In fact, the COVID had reduced. The Karnataka government had assured us the COVID allowance for all the resident doctors. And also COVID allowance, it was been more than a year, which we were in terms in speaking with the ministers, but nothing was working out. So finally, we decided to have a full-fledged protest. On having a full-fledged protest, since I was leading a team, I was made a soft corner, because with an eyes of the ministers or the government officials, it was of the opinion that they can convince me. But there comes a challenge, as Saurabh said, decision making. You will have to be soft also at sometimes, but you'll have to stand rigid also. Because I was leading though, but I had to take my team, which stood beside me, to stand firm, because they could not make a soft advantage of the soft cornering me. And the next day, there was also the arrival of the union health minister for our state. So a group of policemen were sent to my residence. The group of policemen were sent to my residence without a female constable, for threatening me, for not allowing me to meet the union health minister. So these are the challenges. But at the end of the day, you be confident that you are one among the leaders. Don't keep in your mind you are a female leader. Just have in your mind you are one among a leader who is gonna do better for your society. Because you being in that position, you cannot have that you are female, you cannot take risk, because you have taken that position to have a better society, to serve the society. You cannot have a soft corner of you being a female leader. So being a strong and confidence, which what helps you out. That's what, because I was very confident, because I have not done any mistake from my side. There comes the role where you'll have to know in and out of the rules and regulation, how it goes, how the government works. So being as a leader in all these 3 years, I have learned how the society runs, how a government is running, how the government policies runs. So I was very confident. Why am I not allowed to meet a union health minister? Because when he's coming to attend a society, of course, he has given a time. So if you know the rules and regulations well, the policies of the government well, none of the ministers or none of the the mischiefs cannot hamper your progress or the doing better to the society. So if you involve yourself in any leadership activities on par with other association, of course, females can be promoted as a very big leaders, and forming the many female leadership programs, which in fact the ISA is having, because ISA has promoted many videos regarding the female leadership programs. In fact, anesthesia is one of the most female-oriented subject, where many number of female anesthetists and also female leaders can come forward, and of course have come forward also. And lastly, with the family support, of course, females can do anything and achieve higher success also.
It's rightly said, rightly said. It's really courageous of you to stand so strong in this is to exclusively breastfeed their child when they come back from work. There are a lot of issues, like there are lack of toilets for women in workspaces. So yeah, thank you, Dr. Namrata, for sharing your experience with us. We also have a very courageous person apart from Dr. Namrata here. He's Dr. Amit from Jaipur Association of Doctors. Dr. Amit has led multiple strikes in Rajasthan. Dr. Amit, can you share us more? Can you share your experience with us?
Thank you, Dr. Kamna, for giving me this opportunity to speak. Before I start, I would like to start with a tagline which is very relatable to the anesthesiologist. होश वालों को क्या खबर, होश वालों को क्या खबर, बेहोशी क्या चीज है. लीडर्स, टीम लीडरशिप के लिए एवरी पर्सन में कुछ ना कुछ क्वालिटीज होनी चाहिए, जिसमें से एबिलिटी टू टेक इनिशिएटिव्स, इनोवेटिव क्रिएटिविटीज and teamwork, backup plans, and how to deal pressures. ये सभी क्वालिटीज को मैंने अपनी लीडरशिप में कैसे इम्प्लाई किया, आई विल टेल यू विद एग्जांपल्स. फर्स्ट जो फर्स्ट मैंने स्ट्राइक की थी एक्सपीडिएट नीट पीजी काउंसलिंग को लेकर, शायद बहुत ही कम आइडियंस को पता होगा कि जो हैशटैग था एक्सपीडिएट नीट पीजी काउंसलिंग, इट वाज इनिशिएटेड बाय मी ओनली. एंड राजस्थान ऑल ओवर इंडिया में सबसे पहले जो प्रोटेस्ट स्टार्ट हुआ था, जो कंप्लीट स्ट्राइक या कंप्लीट शटडाउन हमने राजस्थान में मैंने इनिशिएट किया था. और तो ये चीज ये दर्शाती है कि आपकी इनिशिएटिव टेक करने की जो एबिलिटीज है एक लीडरशिप में होनी चाहिए. सेकंड थिंग, टीम वर्क. एक्चुअली विदाउट टीम वर्क ए लीडर कांट डू एनीथिंग. आई वाज मेरे जो लेटर हेड है उसके अंदर मैंने ईच एंड एवरी डिपार्टमेंट से एक रेजिडेंट्स को लिया. वी आर ऑलमोस्ट 24 to 25 डिपार्टमेंट्स इंक्लूडिंग द सुपर स्पेशलिटी. तो मेरी जो कोर टीम थी उसमें मैंने हर डिपार्टमेंट से एक जो एक्टिव रेजिडेंट है उनको ले रखा था, और सबको काम डिवाइडेड किया हुआ था कि कोई मीडिया पर्सन था, किसी को हॉस्टल से रिगार्डिंग प्रॉब्लम्स थे, किसी को गर्ल्स हॉस्टल से रिगार्डिंग प्रॉब्लम्स को डील करनी है. तो टीम वर्क से आपको एक लीडर पे जो अकेला प्रेशर उसको डील करना है वो थोड़ा डाइल्यूट हो जाता है. तो वो प्रेशर डाइल्यूट होने की कंडीशन में फिर उसको क्या है कि डिसीजन जो लेने की एबिलिटी है वो थोड़ी क्वालिटी इंप्रूव हो जाती है. सेकंड थिंग, एक एनेस्थेसियोलॉजिस्ट की जो इगोइस्टिक जो प्रॉब्लम है, नॉट एनेस्थेसियोलॉजिस्ट, लीडर की जो इगोइस्टिक प्रॉब्लम होती है उसको हमेशा उसको साइड में रखना चाहिए, ये आउटपुट को देखते हुए. इसका मैं एक सिंपल सा एग्जांपल दूंगा, शायद डॉक्टर कुलशोरो वो उसमें काफी रिलेट करेंगे. जब ये नीट पीजी एक्सपीडिएट की जो प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा था, पहले राजस्थान में स्टार्ट हुआ, उसके बाद ऑल ओवर इंडिया में स्टार्ट हुआ. दिल्ली इसका जो सेंटर था, जहाँ पे दो नेशनल जो एसोसिएशन है फाइमा और फोर्डा, उन्होंने लीड कर रहे थे. और सबको पता है जैसे कि दोनों में थोड़ा दोनों एसोसिएशन है, थोड़ा सा हेल्थी कंपटीशन चलता है कि कौन बेटरमेंट कर रहा है, किसका ज्यादा अप्रोच है, या कौन ज्यादा रेजिडेंट्स के फेवर में काम कर रहा है. तो बीइंग ए नेशनल वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ फेमा, मैंने जब यहाँ पे दिल्ली में जब डॉक्टर कुलसौरभ और फोर्डा की अंडर द अम्ब्रेला ऑफ फोर्डा जब ये प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा था इन फ्रंट ऑफ द हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री, मैं फेमा का मेंबर होते हुए मैंने जयपुर से मैं दिल्ली उनको ज्वाइन किया सर मैंने, ताकि ये मोमेंटम को और थोड़ा एग्रीवेट किया जा सके. तो इससे पहले मैंने जो फेमा के जो मेरे सीनियर्स थे, जो नेशनल प्रेसिडेंट, स्टेट सेक्रेटरी वगैरह, उनको मैंने पॉजिटिवली कन्विंस किया कि हमें अपना ईगो साइड में रखना, हमें आउटपुट देखना है. अभी जिस लेवल पे नेशनल में जो प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा है, उसमें हम सबको एकजुट होना है। अभी अब हमारा सिर्फ एक रेजिडेंट होना चाहिए, हमारी एक रेजिडेंट यूनिटी के अंडर हमें काम करना है। हम भले ही हमारी एसोसिएशन अलग अलग हो, हमारे रास्ते अलग अलग हो, लेकिन मंजिल हमारी एक है। तो मैं फेमा का वाइस प्रेसिडेंट होते हुए सर मैंने वहाँ अंडर द अम्ब्रेला ऑफ फोर्डा मैंने वहाँ पे स्पीच दिया। वहाँ यहाँ से जयपुर से हम दिल्ली हमारी एक डेलीगेट टीम गई। तो ये चीज है दर्शाती है कि एक लीडरशिप के लिए आपको अच्छे रिलेशनशिप बनाने पड़ते हैं, आपको ईगो साइड में रखना पड़ता है। सेकेंड थिंग, आपको हमेशा एक लीडर को हमेशा एक बैकअप प्लान हमेशा रेडी रखना चाहिए। इसका मैं एग्जांपल दूंगा कि मेरे साथ जो इंसिडेंट हुआ वो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है। उस टाइम तो मैं बहुत प्रेशर में था। अब उन चीजों को जब मैं रिकॉल करता हूँ तो आई एंजॉय लॉट। एक्चुअली जब हमने ये एक्सपीडिएट नीट पीजी काउंसलिंग का जब सर हमने स्टार्ट किया था एजुकेशन, सबसे पहले हम कूद पड़े उसके अंदर आंदोलन में। हमने कंप्लीट शटडाउन किया राजस्थान में। ये हमारी लड़ाई थी सेंट्रल से, सेंट्रल मिनिस्ट्री से लड़ाई थी, जो कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट में केस चल रहा था। ठीक है, हमने 3-4 दिन तक कंप्लीट शटडाउन था हमारा, इंक्लूडिंग इमरजेंसी। फिर तब तक पूरे नेशनल में ये एजुकेशन मोमेंटम पकड़ चुका था। तब हमने देखा कि हमें 3-4 दिन हो गए और पिछले 4-5 दिन से हमें स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने हमें बिल्कुल भी एंटरटेन नहीं किया कि आप आओ, आप टेबल टॉक करो, हमसे आपकी डिमांड्स बताओ, क्योंकि उनको पता था कि ये सेंट्रल मिनिस्ट्री या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से इनका फेस ऑफ है, तो हम बीच में नहीं पड़ेंगे। फिर हमने सोचा कि जब भी स्ट्राइक जब कॉल ऑफ होगी, अगर आज के 10 दिन बाद में होगी या 5 दिन बाद में कॉल ऑफ होगी, तो हमें वापसी के लिए एक मीडियम चाहिए होगा, एक टेबल टॉक चाहिए होगा, जिसमें हम जब भी कोई भी स्ट्राइक प्रोटेस्ट होता है तो आपको एक सह सम्मान इज्जत के साथ में वापसी करनी बहुत नेसेसरी होता है। तो हमने क्या किया सर, जब स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने हमने बिल्कुल भी एंटरटेन नहीं किया, तो हमने सोचा कि अब क्या किया जाए कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हमें एंटरटेन करे या हम उनको बाउंड करें कि वो हमें टेबल टॉक पे बुलाए। क्योंकि अगर टेबल टॉक पे अगर वो नहीं बुलाते हैं हमें, तो जब भी स्ट्राइक कॉल ऑफ होगी तो हम रेजिडेंट्स की जो स्ट्राइक की जो ड्यूरेशन है उसको कैसे हम उसको डे ऑफ में या सीएल में हम उसको कन्वर्ट कराएंगे। अगर टेबल, क्योंकि जब भी वो समझौता होता है, कॉम्प्रोमाइज होता है, तो लास्ट में एक लाइन लिखी जाती है समझौते पत्र में कि स्ट्राइक की जो अवधि को सीएल या डे ऑफ में कन्वर्ट किया जाएगा, उनका सैलरी या वो कट नहीं किया जाएगा। तो वो चीज हमारे लिए एक इम्पोर्टेंट कंसर्न था। तो फिर हमने लास्ट के 4-5 डेज तो वेट किया। फिर हमने इमीडिएटली जब पता लगा कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मामला जा रहा है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट से इसमें भी टाइम लगेगा, स्ट्राइक तो तब तक 1-2 महीने लंबी इतनी खिंच नहीं सकती, तब हमने ऑन द स्पॉट कुछ डिमांड्स क्रिएट की जो कि डायरेक्ट रिलेटेबल थी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से, और उस एक्सपीडिएट नीट पीजी काउंसलिंग से रिलेटेड थी, रेजिडेंट्स के स्ट्रेस को कम करने से रिलेटेड थी। फिर हमने 8 सूत्रीय मांगे बना के एक स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की तरफ हमने मामला डाइवर्ट किया, तब जाके स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने हम पे हमें एंटरटेन किया। फिर लास्ट में हमें बुलाया गया और जो भी हमारी फिर जो डिमांड्स थी, हमारी डिमांड्स जो मेन डिमांड थी हमारी एक्सपीडिएट नीट पीजी काउंसलिंग थी, लेकिन हमने उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए हमारी नई 8 सूत्रीय मांगे भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से मनवाई और हमने सह सम्मान घर वापसी की, स्ट्राइक कॉल ऑफ किया। और उस चीज को आरडीए एम्स ने भी काफी अप्रिशिएट किया था उस टाइम पे। ये चीज इसलिए बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि अगर आपका बैकअप प्लान नहीं होगा, क्योंकि एक लीडर वो होता है कि आप जिस भी पब्लिक को या जिस एसोसिएशन को या जिन रेजिडेंट्स को आप लीड कर रहे हैं, आपकी लीडरशिप की वजह से उनका किसी भी तरीके का नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए, आइदर इन फाइनेंशियली और किसी भी अदर स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन वगैरह में। लेकिन जैसे दिल्ली में कुछ कॉलेजेस थे जिनके जो उन कॉलेजेस ने क्या किया कि जो स्ट्राइक की अवधि थी उनका सैलरी उनको दिया नहीं था, शायद काफी 2-3-4 महीने बाद तक वो इश्यू उठ रहा था। तो हमने वो पहले ही प्लान किया था, हमारे विजन में था कि ऐसा कुछ दिक्कत आएगी अगर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को हमने एंटरटेन नहीं करवाया तो हमारा वो इश्यू सोल्व हुआ। तो इस चीज से ये दिखता है कि आपका एक बैकअप प्लान हमेशा एक लीडरशिप में आपका होना ही चाहिए। सेकेंड थिंग, एक जो ट्रू लीडर होता है, like as an anesthesiologist, we never ask or never take credit, we never ask for credit। चाहे से सर्जरी कितनी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो, कितनी कुछ भी हो, सर्जन को ही वाहवाही मिलती है, हम उसका क्रेडिट कभी लेते भी नहीं है। हमारा केवल काम फोकस होता है उस टाइम पे जो भी इमरजेंसी जो भी कॉम्प्लिकेशन हुआ है एज एनेस्थेसियोलॉजिस्ट हम उसको क्लियर करते हैं, उसको डील करते हैं, और उसके क्रेडिट के लिए या उसके लिए हम कभी आस्क नहीं करते। तो एक ट्रू लीडरशिप में ये क्वालिटी होनी चाहिए, वो शो ऑफ का कम और जो एक्चुअली जो ग्राउंड पे जो फील्ड में जो वर्क होता है उसको हमेशा करने के लिए कैपेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए। सेकेंड थिंग, एक इनोवेटिव इनोवेशन जो होता है एक लीडरशिप के अंदर, हमेशा एक इनोवेटिव थिंकिंग होनी चाहिए। मैं फर्स्ट बंदा था। मैं जब हमने हमारे पिछले 3-4 साल से एसएमएस के अंदर सर 3 to 5 रेजिडेंट्स ने और एमबीबीएस स्टूडेंट ने सुसाइड किया है लास्ट 3 to 5 ईयर्स में। तो मैंने उस चीज में हमने एक नया इनोवेशन किया था, स्टार्ट किया था, जिसमें मैंने जार्ड एंटी सुसाइडल रिड्रेसल सेल हमने बनाई है, और उसमें हमने हर डिपार्टमेंट से एक रेजिडेंट को लिया, और वो रेजिडेंट वो बंदा था जो कि हर डिपार्टमेंट में होते हैं ना कुछ रेजिडेंट ऐसे होते हैं जो कि सबसे मिलजुल के रहते हैं, उनका जोली नेचर होता है, वो सबसे कम्युनिकेशन उनसे अच्छा रहता है उस पूरे डिपार्टमेंट में। तो हमने ऐसे रेजिडेंट्स को हमने पिकअप किया और हमने एक जार्ड एंटी सुसाइडल रिड्रेसल सेल बनाई। और यू डोंट बिलीव सर कि हमने कम से कम 4 से 5 ऐसे केस थे जो कि डिपार्टमेंटल वाइज, एकेडमिक्स वाइज वो काफी मेंटली हरेस थे। उन्होंने हमें पर्सनल मैसेज किया, हमने बिल्कुल उनकी कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी को मेंटेन करते हुए उनके इश्यूज को सोल्व करवाया। तो ये चीज अपने आप में बहुत, हो सकता है आज वो इसी वजह से हमारे बीच में है, नहीं क्या पता वो भी नेगेटिव स्टेप ले सकते थे। तो एक ये चीजें, कुछ इनोवेटिव थिंकिंग क्राइटेरिया जो आपका है लीडरशिप के लिए, वो काफी इंपॉर्टेंस रखता है। सेकेंड थिंग, आज अर्लियर इट वाज जो लीडरशिप का क्राइटेरिया था वो हायरार्की बेसिस पे था, वो सीनियरिटी बेसिस लीडरशिप थी, लेकिन आजकल सिनेरियो चेंज हो गया। आजकल रिलेशनशिप बेस्ड लीडरशिप हो गई है। इसका एग्जांपल मैं खुद से लेना चाहूंगा। एक्चुअली मैं
डॉक्टर अमित, हमारे साथ डॉक्टर अक्षय भी हैं, वो भी थोड़ा अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाहते हैं। डॉक्टर अक्षय, आपने कोविड के टाइम पे ये वर्क रियली हार्ड, कैन यू शेयर योर एक्सपीरियंस विद अस?
With your due permission, I would like to share my screen.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Akshay, Amit has led so many strikes. So, Amit, can you quickly highlight the other 2 strikes also?
Sorry, sir.
Till that time, I will wait, sir.
Amit, आपने मुझे मालूम है कि 2-3 स्ट्राइक लीड करी हैं, तो अभी आपने एक के बारे में बात करी थी।
हाँ सर, सेकेंड अभी रिसेंटली जो हमारी आरटीएच से रिलेटेड पूरे ऑल ओवर राजस्थान के अंदर जो स्ट्राइक हुई थी राइट टू हेल्थ को लेके, तो उसमें सबसे बड़ा चैलेंजिंग हमारे पे ये था कि हम एज ए रेजिडेंट होते हुए कि हम आरटीएच से कैसे अफेक्टेड हो रहे हैं। ठीक है, अब चूंकि किसी भी एसोसिएशन में, किसी मेडिकल कॉलेज में ऑल ओवर इंडिया से रेजिडेंट्स होते हैं, आरटीएच मुद्दा था केवल राजस्थान का। तो जो बाहर के स्टूडेंट्स थे, स्पेशली साउथ के स्टूडेंट्स थे, तो जब हम स्ट्राइक में हम गए, उससे पहले हमें कन्विंस करना जरूरी था कि उन रेजिडेंट का कहना था कि हम तो इससे अफेक्टेड ही नहीं हो रहे हैं, व्हाई वी शुड पार्ट ऑफ दिस स्ट्राइक, हम क्यों प्राइवेट एसोसिएशन का हम स्ट्राइक में पार्ट ले रहे हैं। तो उनको ये कम्युनिकेट करना और उनको ये विजन बताना बहुत जरूरी था कि आज अगर आरटीएस राजस्थान में लागू होता है तो ये कल को अदर स्टेट्स में भी लागू होता है। हो सकता है तमिलनाडु में हमने देखा तो उस टाइम पे तमिलनाडु की गवर्नमेंट ने भी एक प्रोविजनल स्टार्ट किया था कि आप उस पर काम करें, गवर्नमेंट तो दिया था कि आप इस पे
महाराष्ट्र स्टेट आल्सो लॉन्च सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ प्रोसीडिंग्स।
काफी करना जरूरी था उनको, हमें विजन उनको दिखाना जरूरी था कि अगर आरटीएस राजस्थान में लागू होता है तो आपके यहाँ भी, आप अदर स्टेट में जब आप जाओगे वहां भी आपके यहाँ पे ये एम्प्लॉय हो सकता है। ये काफी बड़ा चैलेंजेस था। साथ में जो मीडिया को हमने जो डील किया, क्योंकि मीडिया का पहला क्वेश्चन ये होता था कि आप तो रेजिडेंट है, वो तो प्राइवेट पे आरटीएस लागू हो रहा, आप क्यों ये मेडिकल सर्विसेज एबलेस कर रहे हो, आप क्यों पेशेंट्स को बाध्य कर रहे हो। तो हम ये भी मीडिया को भी हमें कन्विंस करना काफी चैलेंजिंग था। हमने बताया उनको कि हम रेजिडेंट तो सिर्फ 3 साल के लिए हैं, 3 साल के बाद में हम फील्ड में आएंगे, प्राइवेट में जाएंगे या गवर्नमेंट में जाएंगे, तो ये हम पे भी लागू होता है। तो और रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन जब इस प्रोटेस्ट में, प्राइवेट डॉक्टर्स के प्रोटेस्ट में, नो टू आरटीएस के प्रोटेस्ट में जब उन्होंने उनको ज्वाइन किया, तो ये इसका मोमेंटम काफी अच्छा हुआ था और पूरे देश ने उसको देखा था।
और आप उसमें विजयी भी हुए थे। बिल्कुल,
हाँ बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल सबकी।
अभी एक और सबसे बड़ा जो मुद्दा है वायलेंस अगेंस्ट डॉक्टर्स के ऊपर भी आपने एक हमारे वी लॉस्ट अ गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट अर्चना जी, है ना, तो उसके ऊपर भी आप लोगों ने स्ट्राइक करी थी, रादर प्रोटेस्ट किया था कि टू जॉइन ऑल एसोसिएशंस।
यस सर।
So thank you Amit, keep on doing good work. I
Thank
think Akshay will touch more on violence also. Over to you, Akshay.
Thank
you. So thank you so much, sir and Kamna ma'am, for this opportunity, and all the esteemed faculties and leaders present over here. So with everyone's due permission, I would like to share the screen. Yeah, I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
So let me start with my first part, which sir gave me, the role played by resident doctors. In fact, the resident doctors of our department, anesthesia department in COVID-19 pandemic. We were the frontline workers, the resident doctors, and especially the anesthesiologists, along with medicine and IFC people. They were working in several COVID ICUs. So yes, it was a challenge for the entire medical fraternity. But as a resident doctors, to work in those PPE kits for long hours, sometimes as long as 12 hours without food, without going to restroom, it was a real challenge for all the resident doctors. But then at the same time, we were having the responsibility to spread positivity in that doom of darkness where the COVID-19 pandemic were taking so many lives, in fact, young lives in the second wave. So here you can see we have a photo with one of the patients who we were discharging at that time, and we were celebrating Christmas, Diwali with them so that we can give them hopes. And then came the part where we took the social responsibility of distributing N95 masks. It was a basic need of all the resident doctors. But then, as you can see, authorities were handcuffed, and very few resident doctors got that opportunity to use N95 in the initial phase of pandemic. And here we came with a solution at national level. We launched a campaign by IMHADN where we used to get the contact number of donors, and we used to provide it to the people who were actually needing them. And then also at my level in Mumbai, as you can see, that Sayan, Nair, KEM, these three hospitals got N95 masks through Dr. Philip Medical Education and Research Trust and various such NGOs, and we distributed it. And here, let me show you guys the N95 masks reach the ground level, the resident doctors who are actually needing them. Because it used to happen, it was a sorry state of affair that authorities used to provide it, but somewhere in between, it was kept for near future, and resident doctors were not getting it. So we played that role, we played that medium where they can get it. And not just N95 masks, but as you can see, a donor is there who is donating lakhs of rupees. Let me tell you guys, PPE kits were a costly affair that time. One PPE kit costed rupees 1,500 approximately, a good quality PPE kit. And on an average, a tertiary care hospital required minimum of 100 PPE kits. And as you can see, so minimum of 1,50,000 was required per day to save the frontline COVID warriors. So thanks to all our donors. And similarly, let me tell you guys that not just the protection part, but also food, which is a basic need of any human being, I would say, not just a resident doctors. There was a time where KM hospitals, resident doctors ate few Parle-G biscuits and slept because canteen was not having raw material. Our own hospital got food from Langar so that resident doctors could survive, because canteen workers, not from my hospital, but other hospital also, canteen workers ran away. So that was a situation where Zomato and Swiggy red zoned hospitals, and we were not getting food. At that time, the AIG group, we coordinated with them. We distributed food boxes, lunch boxes, as well as dinner boxes to resident doctors. And with the help of various NGOs, we supplemented them with energy supplement and nutritious food at that time. And one such NGO was Money Life Foundation. I'd like to extend heartfelt gratitude to Sucheta Dalal ma'am. She was very keen in providing help to all the resident doctors, not just of Mumbai, but with her help, we also provided donations to other parts of other peripheral medical colleges. And this is a picture with Sucheta Dalal ma'am. She's famous, and she's also Padma Shri Sucheta Dalal ma'am, I would say. And she felicitated all COVID warriors. And among 6 resident doctors who attended that event, 4 were anesthesiologists. Proud, I would say.
And again, one more initiative which started. We were second in doing so, and Smart COVID-19 OPD was started in our hospital. As you can see, we also made a small description video which was rolled. With the help of YouTube, we spread a word about it, and we got 50,000 views for that. And as you can see, the equipments which are kept here: digital stethoscope, pulse oximetry, thermometer. So basically, it was no touch phenomena which we were following, and there was no contact between patient as well as doctor. So basically, we were trying to prevent the spread of infection. In face shields, also we donated, and we distributed it. And as you can see in this photo, we were keen in distributing these PPE kits and other N95 masks and other things, the periphery medical colleges, because they were lacking the basic facilities also. When it came to our, when it registered our mind, so at the same point, we started supplying our donations, which we were having for our own resident doctors, the resident doctors of periphery medical colleges. So now coming to the part where they wanted representation from the frontline COVID warriors. So I represented each and every resident doctors, and in almost every news channel which was trying to cover the lifestyle of a resident doctor at that time in all the 2-3 waves of COVID which hit our nation. And as you can see, Mirror Now, India Today, and every news channel covered the hardship of resident doctors, and we are thankful to them. So this is one of the interesting story I would like to share, that India Today started a show on saluting COVID warriors, and amongst medical profession, they chose resident doctors because they knew that they were working on frontline. And thanks to India Today, and News 18 called us and called me to explain the responsibility of citizens of India, because on one hand we were living a life without our family, we were working for them, and on other hand they were in the second wave, basically they were not understanding their responsibility, and they were not following the COVID norms, COVID protocols. So national media helped us a lot in that. And then not just the national media, as you can see, one of the famous British news channel, international media, ITV News, also took my interview, and how Indian resident doctors tackled the situation when many of the youngsters were getting affected. And in the middle, I have posted one photo, and this is an Italian news paper, Il Fatto, and they also saluted the Indian resident doctors in this interview. So thanks to the international media also. So that time was important because we wanted to bring forward the lifestyle and the hardships to which a resident doctor is going through. And they should understand, the citizens of India should understand, and not just resident doctors, but also the other senior professors and associate professors. They came in and they started working, putting their lives at stake, and that was a really challenging time. So that is why in this time where resident doctors and other doctors were, they might enter into depression in such a challenging period. So that is why we started extracurricular activities. As you can see, we held various sessions with the Bollywood stars, Javed Jaffrey, Booman Irani, Farah Khan, so that we can relieve stress. It was acting as a stress buster for the frontline COVID warriors, and we started a Mumbai COVID vaccine, and we so that they can pen down their own feelings in the form of poems, articles, etc. Or not just this, but yes, we were living two lives. Like one, we were working for, we were serving the nation, and on one side we were having our own demands. So as you can see in this photo, Honorable Chief Minister Sir is addressing our demands. So we, the resident doctors, went, and I was representing Mumbai zone, and thanks to the state government that listened to us, and not just Honorable Chief Minister Sir, but we had several meetings with various political parties, Mayor of Mumbai. So basically, we wanted to highlight the demands of resident doctors, and we were successful in doing so during the COVID times. Then why it is important to build media pressure, because without that you cannot solve the issues which residents are facing. So here are few issues which we highlighted. As you can see, the academic fees academic fees waiver was one of the problem. Then there was stipend hike issue, as Dr. Namrata also pointed out. Similar situations were there here also in Maharashtra. So all these issues we tackled using media pressure, and media was one of the keys towards success when we started holding these protests. Now coming to the second part, violence against Sir rightly pointed out that Dr. Amit also started this agitation, and this is not a new thing. But I would like to highlight one of the real scenario which happened in my own hospital, and one medicine resident doctor, male as well as female, were suffered this violence from the relatives. And immediately we called a meeting and we started organizing this candle march protest. And then we came to know that the relatives of that particular person who were involved in this violence, they approached the local MLA. The local MLA came, and the police was not, the police authority was not very much into it to arrest the culprit. And as you guys might be knowing, Epidemic Diseases Amendment Act was there, and during that epidemic time, if violence happened, it was a cognizable and non-bailable offense. But still, nothing was happening. So what we did, we addressed media, and thank you so much media again who highlighted this issue. And because of that, as you can see, Rohtak and various digital media, as you can see, Medical Dialogues is there. Various of them supported us, and thanks to them that we addressed it. And not just media, but various national associations, as you can see, FODA is there, FIMA is there, all together came in our support, because violence is something which is not a local matter. It is happening all over India. So thanks to them, we were successful in building the national pressure. And then very soon, on the same day, with the help of BMC officials and Mumbai police, we were able to book those two relatives under the section 353 of IPC. So this is one of the success story which which I highlighted today. But do you think this is just one incident which is happening? I would like to ask everyone, and you can comment in the comment section. So what are the solutions? In April 2020, government came with a temporary solution. Why it is temporary? Because they amended Epidemic Diseases Act. So whenever this act is there into force, then only that particular offense is cognizable and non-bailable, violence against doctors. But what about other times? Do you think that only during the epidemic we are more prone to violence and such incidents? The answer is big no. And my next slide will explain why. So I have taken pictures from various incidents which have happened, and let me tell you guys, these incidents mainly happened when epidemic was not there. So what about this then? Why there is no solution from the authority for these incidents? So that is why we organized on not just IMA. I have clicked screenshots of IMA JD Twitter handle, but then yes, FODA, FIMA, and all the major associations came to support the young doctors who were facing this, and we launched Save the Saviors campaign all throughout India. And I would like to thank ISA also, because they also supported this campaign, and with the help of silent protests, black ribbon protests, and various news media channels, we were successful in achieving a small part of it. But again, it was temporary. Why? Because the Union Home Secretary as well as Health Secretary wrote to the Chief Secretaries and Administrators so that they can solve the issue at local level. But what is the permanent solution? Yes, it is Central Protection Act. Unless and until we strive hard to bring that, and we leave no stone unturned for Central Protection Act, this issue won't get sorted. So thank you so much again, ISA, who's working on it. And in the next slide, I would like to show that ISA has always supported every national protest and agitation. And as you can see, Naveen Malhotra sir is again there, who has been releasing and who has been keen in supporting the national agitations for violence against doctors. Also, ISA has supported IMA for when IMA was fighting against misopathy. Ayush doctors when they are practice modern medicine. And as you guys might be remembering, there was a very big issue which happened when Ramdev Baba and his NGO was targeted by IMA. And at that time, a big fight was going on between this Ayush doctors and the modern medicine doctors. At that time also, ISA opposed misopathy. And not just these incidents, but there are various such incidents where ISA has supported. So all thanks to Naveen sir and all the other senior members of ISA. With this, I would like to end and I would like to open the session for questions. I hope I tried to cover.
Akshay, thank you very much for elaborating those issues. And I just want to add a few things. One about PPE and the N95 mask. See, when the COVID pandemic started, we realized that there is extreme shortage of N95 masks. And that was highlighted by the coordinator for today's program, Kamna and Amit, when they were with me in the PGIMS. And immediately, ISA took a principal decision of disbursing about 70 lakh rupees to all the branches across the country, exclusively, which was a part of grant in aid, the membership share without any documents, for supplying N95 masks to our colleagues, especially the residents, who I firmly believe have done a human job during the COVID-19 pandemic and proven that they have got bodies of metal and nerves of steel. They were at the forefront of managing the critically ill COVID patients in the ICU, HDUs, and OTs. Also, you talked about some relaxation by talking to the Bollywood people, and that is essential. You need something. It is written in Miller's also that you need to have one more passion to keep on detoxifying you, to keep on regenerating you, and which Namrata was also highlighting. So for that, ISA has got Art and Literary Club and Cultural Club, which focuses on art, painting, drawing, photography, writing, dancing, singing. But that doesn't mean these people are not academicians and clinicians. There are some whims and fallacies that those who dance and sing, they are not good academicians and clinicians. But this is their second hobby. Like some have got running, jogging, but they are excellent academicians and clinicians. Also, we are firmly against any violence, and until unless there is a stringent central act in place, I think we will have to keep on fighting for our safety. The only thing which I firmly want to convey to my you're all my younger brothers and colleagues, that if we talk, I know at times it's very difficult, but if we talk softly to someone, the patients and attendants, I think 90% of the things can be avoided. Just think that this person is relative of your HOD. So, or a sister or a brother of your HOD. So, in spite of he being so irritating, you will not lose your patience. Be firm, but gentle. Be firm, but gentle. I think 90% of things will be avoided. Rest 10%, we are geared up and we will face it and have a good punishment also if they do any violence against the doctors. And see, I've got Kamna with me, who has been going through all these struggles, and she has raised up points which have raised even national storm, but only for the benefit of the residents and benefit of the fraternity. And she has been pointing out towards the certain issues which are very, very important for the women welfare, ladies welfare also. And she has given me food for thought. Yes, why not? What harm an anesthesiologist lady has done by delivering a child? What harm that child has done to have a lady anesthesiologist as his or her mother? Why he be devoid of breastfeeding? Why there should be equal and appropriate female washrooms in the OTs or in the chambers? And other issues which I know she will just pick me more that these things should be there. So over to you, Kamna, for your expert comments and your views and expressions quickly, and then I'll move forward to Averill. There is a question from Dr. Nishan about the authorities. So just look into the chat box and then we'll come to you. Over to you, Kamna.
So thank you all for all the wonderful experiences you have shared. I just wanted to share a bit about me, that how I've become an accidental leader for a lot of people. So I was never into leadership. I've never been into any resident doctor associations. And it's just, as COVID started, I posted a few things on Twitter, and I managed to raise a national storm with, as you can see, like I asked for N95 mask and stuff like that. And Rahul Gandhi, Arvind Kejriwal, these people, they picked up my tweets. I became an instant celebrity of sorts. And people hounded me. I was trolled. I was completely blacklisted from a lot of places. I got phone calls threatening me for, speaking against the government. But somehow I stood my ground. I did not stop voicing my opinions. I did not stop telling what was my story. So my college, Dr. Naveen, Malhotra, PJMS, Rohtak, they all supported me, said that I was their frontline. As you can see, this was published in Indian Express. And a lot of other newspapers also took up my story. Soon I was writing my concerns about convalescent plasma that was being given for COVID-19 treatment. So we wrote letters, a group of doctors from all over India. We wrote letters to Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India, to expressing concerns about why plasma is being given as a therapy. And we managed to force ICMR to drop plasma therapy from COVID-19 treatment guidelines. So this is something that I'm proud of, something that I've done as a part of a beautiful group that we had, who read all the latest research and managed to convince the government about dropping plasma therapy, remdesivir. So I was also invited on Times Now for to talk about the recovery trial that was being published, in which they said that plasma therapy doesn't work. Since then I've been talking to people. I've been speaking to a lot of groups about how to handle patients in COVID-19 and how to prevent a third wave, fourth wave. I was invited internationally as well. Here you can see Anu Boyan, who's a health journalist, a famous health journalist in India, along with Dr. Arvinder Soin, who works as a liver transplant specialist in Medanta. I was invited internationally to have answers, as a way to as the authority to answer on COVID-19 questions. When the oxygen shortage happened, I was made to sit opposite BJP speaker Syed Zafar, and we were actually pitted against each other. So I became an accidental leader of sort. I was never into, RDAs and all, but still I had to. I felt like it was a responsibility to speak up for my resident doctor, to speak up for my colleagues. I was sharing patient concerns from the front line. I was talking to various journalists, to various media personals. I was telling that why, there are kids with COVID-19 who need their parents around. There are 90-year-old people who are admitted and they are just dying alone. So we managed to convince the government to, not ban people from visiting COVID wards and let people come and visit their loved ones in their end of life. This was covered by even BBC News worldwide. This was covered. And I also wrote about how on the first day of my COVID duty, I bled in my PPE, and how menstruation is a big issue for doctors, for lady doctors especially. We were working for long hours in PPE kits and we couldn't change sanitary napkins. So this was something that was written by me, and this article of mine, this opinion piece of mine, got shared worldwide. Trust me, I got messages from all over the world, and ladies who have been working in PPE kits, doctors who have been working in PPE kits, they messaged me, told me how difficult it has been for them. They've been suffering from fungal infections in their intimate areas, and just because of all the sweating and all the blood. This is something that I am proud that I brought to the fore. After that, with Dr. Naveen sir also, and my sister, Dr. Bhavna Gupta, we wrote an article on tough times and miles to go before we sleep, the aspects of struggles of Corona warriors. And I'm proud to say that this has been cited 25 times already. This was published in Indian Journal of Anesthesia, and I'm thankful to Naveen sir for giving me the opportunity to write this article. Apart from that, as Dr. Akshay and Dr. Amit mentioned, that Ramdev was being notorious during this time. And I wrote an article on that as well, which was shared extensively. I was again trolled for this. I was massively trolled for this. I got death threats. I got a lot of abuses from everywhere. But I'm still writing. I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting for what is right. This is again an opinion piece I wrote. Then the thing that I'm most proud of, and I think that anybody would be that I with Netflix World Never Have I Ever team, we managed to raise $1 lakh for Give India campaign during COVID-19 second wave, and this was viewed by 6.6 lakh people already. I've been talking about violence against doctors, and it has been shared multiple times. Then we were talking about mental health of frontline warriors. I was invited to share my views about it. So yeah, this is all that I've been doing, and it was really nice to meet you all today.
Kamna, we are really proud of you, and I must say I am a very social man, and I meet a lot of people in the general public. And that your article about the menstruation when you are wearing the PPE kit and with the extreme shortage of the PPE kit at that time, there was extreme shortage and you cannot change. And that really lots of definitely male fan following, but lots of female fan following also that was there. And thank you for bringing that thing into the option. And please keep on picking for the welfare of the lady anesthesiologist.
Thank you, sir. So that's just I wanted to emphasize on that anybody can be a leader, anybody can have a voice. There are always people who will follow you.
Absolutely. So Avril, there is a question for you, and I'll request anybody with anything to comment upon the experiences of these young leaders. And I know we are late, but still I know there will be lots of viewership on the YouTube and Facebook Live of the Anesthesia TV. Avril, a question was there for you. Avril, you are muted.
Okay, sir. Am I audible now, sir?
Good to go.
Yes, sir. Sir, as Dr. Nishant has just asked, that as a leader of the RDA of a major medical college, what are the three most important things that I expect from the college authorities, which I often find lacking, sir? Sir, I think, Dr. Nishant, if you're listening to this, I feel that, sir, I don't need three qualities which are lacking. I think I'll use an umbrella quality which is mostly lacking and is always lacking, and that is compassion and the ability to, listen to us as one of their own. So what we feel when we interact with the college authorities, sir, is that, the up and about hurried nature, when, we pose our problems in front of them, and, the need with the urgency which we demand them to address it with, it is often missing in the authorities. We feel that, they're very laid back. They feel that we are here to stall the system. We are here to stall the work. When in reality, sir, we are the eventual parts of the machine which make sure that everything falls in order. So sometimes when we go and raise our concerns, like I'll use a very fresh example of my college. We haven't received a salary for senior residents in last 35 days, sir. I just wrote a letter to the MD, sir, respected MD today, and sir, after I wrote the letter, after I being in our position, I think FODA has an excellent network of media presence all over the country. When we wrote a letter, it is eventually then that the authorities suddenly, sprung back into action, and they realized that if it goes into media, it is going to be a big fiasco. So what we feel, sir, that, what they can do to us as a favor is to avoid the bureaucratic red tapeism that we are led into. Because when we go to with any demand, I think Akshay here, Dr. Kul Saurabh, Dr. Vinay, he's a fresh RDA president, and I'm sure he's facing those problems similarly. And all of us, we face that bureaucratic red tapeism a lot. We are led into a sequence of letters, a never-ending charade of letters, not getting proper responses, even in our RTIs. I was surprised a while back that if you ask even one question in an RTI and you end it up with a question mark, they just don't blatantly respond to it. So this is the level of nonchalance that is being shown by the authorities to us, sir. And we also feel that many things should be decentralized in an institute. By that, I mean that I hope my counterparts will realize that many things can be safely given to the RDA to handle and maneuver and manipulate and oversee in an institute. I think Amit would also agree that if there are things like mess services, security services, and surveillance services, if they're given and handed over to the RDA primarily and not being in the hands of Sarkari Babus or some other layman people, then things would be far more effective. And time and again we are pulled back into the same old debauchery that we are trying to lift ourselves above from and deal with the newer issues. We are never allowed to do that. We always go and spring back into the same issues time and again, sir. So we feel that compassion is one word which, if the authorities realize that they were in our place and we are going to be in their place someday, and we are all linked and we are all one, and if only they would lend a very patient and a very helping ear to us, many of the problems can be resolved very, very easily, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Aviral. And yes, so just a little, and I've been listening to all these young leaders right from the word go, and it is actually, sir, it is important for people like us also now that we are assuming leadership roles, and like I am the chief warden of my college, so that is one reason why I wanted to listen to all of them. Compassion, maybe I think you wanted to say communication, Aviral, is that correct? Because I feel if there is a communication gap, then there can be a problem. So do you want to, was that compassion or communication that you want to highlight?
Sir, I think communication is one facet of the compassion that I find missing, sir. Maybe, I know you personally, sir. I know that you are a very compassionate guy, but maybe I've met the wrong people, sir.
No. So yeah, I think what I believe is that there has to be a good communication. Also, compassion obviously has to be there, definitely. So communication gap, and that is one thing. And yes, red tapeism is there, and then it depends on what type of institute you are. If you are in an autonomous, maybe you have certain more privileges. But yes, it has been very interesting to listen to all of you people. You have been wonderful in your in the roles that you have played, and it has been very enlightening to listen to the experience that you have shared today. Thank you so much.
Sir, I would like to add something. I would like to congratulate Naveen, sir, for bringing YUVA anesthesiologists from every part of the country and highlighting the aspect that the issues that we face have been similar and they've been recurring over and over. So it was very nice to listen to all of you. Actually, they have come across, they have created that platform for every one of us, for especially the upcoming generations also, even the more YUVA than them as well, to look up to them, to inculcate leadership abilities. And actually, congratulations to each one of you. Thank you, everyone.
YUVA is a brainchild of solely Naveen, sir. I must say that. Thank you, sir, for enriching our lives.
Yeah, but thank you for those compliments. But I must confess you that I've been under tremendous pressure that everybody says we are YUVA. So yes, I with folded hand tell them, yes, you are YUVA. You are YUVA.
There's no one more YUVA than we have. We can look up.
YUVA at heart.
Yes, absolutely.
But we have kept a numerical number that those who are less than 40 years, they will be speaking, and those who are more than 40 years will be cheering. So yes, everybody is young. That's fine. So there are, we got Deepika also and Amit also with us, and Tanveer. Any comments or expressions from your side are most welcome.
Good evening, everyone. It was a very interesting session to listen to. I just want to ask my seniors one thing. Is it ever too late to work on their leadership qualities?
Deepika, like I said, anybody can be a leader. You can be a leader even in extracurricular activities. Doesn't matter. You don't have to be a political leader to be a leader, right? You just need to have an opinion. You just need to voice your opinion. You just need to stand up for yourself, stand up for what is right, and never bend down against what you feel is wrong.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We really look up to all of you, and hopefully we'll learn a lot of things from you. And thank you so much to Naveen sir for providing us such a platform to discuss the issues related to YUVA anesthesiologists. Thank you, sir.
I would just add to like Kamna's point that I career that everybody has some kind of leadership into them, like a senior resident managing 5 to 8 residents on duty, interacting with the other departments. He also is doing a part of leadership. It's just that you just have to extrapolate it to some more extent. Communicating with the authorities, communicating your PS in a larger group. So I don't think there's any point of time that decides, yes, beyond this, nobody can like jump into leadership or before this. So what I feel is man management is one thing, and what we all of us do at some point of level, just we have to like extrapolate it up to some extent.
And very rightly said, Kulsora, and as expressed by Vinay also, and Aviral also, and Amit also, who better leader than an anesthesiologist? Because this is the part of their profession. And it will be really a pleasure that one day, all the associations at the resident level, an anesthesiologist is there in an office-bearing position, and all of you who have been a part of the resident doctor associations, then they step up as office bearers of the city branches of Indian Society of Anesthesiologists, and then state level, and then finally in the chair which I was there between 2018 to 2022. It will be really an honor to have you all going up ladder to ladder, but don't stop there. Go for positions like director, vice chancellor, DMER, and those who are in active politics, maybe as health minister of your state or the central health minister. So why stop short there? Okay. And maybe someday we have an anesthesiologist leading the country as the Honorable Prime Minister or President. So we have to lead from the forefront. And I really thank all of you for giving the insights and sharing your valuable knowledge, experience, and that will motivate many others to become leaders like you. Because leaders don't create followers, leaders create more followers, more leaders, sorry. And I repeat and reiterate, it's not about what you have achieved in life. It's never about what you have achieved in life, but what you inspire others to do so. So today you must have inspired thousands and thousands of your colleagues, and they will be really motivated to join you, learn from you, emulate you, and become leaders in anesthesia fraternity. Thank you very much. And with this, we come to close of this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.